Recently, I received a few DMs claiming that the 30 Exalt budget I mentioned in my previous build video was a huge exaggeration and totally impossible. So, on a whim, I decided to record this video to prove them wrong. Today, I am taking on the challenge of putting together a full gear set capable of clearing tier 15 maps using exactly 30 Exalts. The preparation and trading phase will be shown at 3x speed with absolutely zero cuts for full transparency. You will be able to see that none of my gems are in a 6-link setup, and I am not using any skill gems above level 18. Starting with a strict baseline of 30 Exalts, I will use this exact budget to purchase the entire gear set from scratch, and then jump directly into a T15 map for an actual combat showcase. During this phase, I really didn't want to waste too much time trading. So, I basically just threw in 2 or 3 search filters and instantly bought the cheapest items that popped up, zero cherry picking involved. Honestly, if you have a bit of patience to snipe the market or actually compare stats, you could easily get much better gear or even cut the cost in half. But for the sake of keeping the video moving, I just grabbed whatever was available right then. It was only after I equipped everything that I realized I completely forgot to look for chaos resistance. Not gonna lie, I panicked for a second, really hoping I don't just randomly get one shot and ruin the run. Fingers crossed. By the way, let me take this opportunity to cover the detailed weapon crafting guide that I forgot to include in the previous video. First, you need to buy a Jade Club. This base is crucial because it guarantees that your attacks have a 100% hit chance. You want to filter for a weapon with a high attack speed roll. Basically, for just one Exalt, you can easily find one with an attack speed close to 1.8, which is more than enough. If you take your time to snipe the market, you might even snag one with life on hit or a critical damage bonus. But to save time for this video, I won't bother searching too deeply. Here's a very important detail. You will notice me scrolling down the trade site quite a bit to find the right weapon. I am actually not looking for those specific stats. What I'm really searching for is a weapon that has exactly 2 suffixes. This is because if it has 3 suffixes, there is a chance that using a desecrate will accidentally remove the attack speed, and that completely bricks the item. Next, we use an omen to force the desecrate to roll an Aminamu's mod, since we are specifically aiming for armor break. Finally, we need to fill up the prefixes. This step is mandatory. By ensuring the prefixes are completely full, when we add extra physical damage, it is guaranteed to remove a prefix instead of messing up our suffixes. And just like that, the weapon is fully crafted. The total cost? Only 5 Exalts. When looking for the rare pieces of gear, there are tons of stats we could filter for, but you will notice I specifically isolate only one mod. Armor applies to elemental damage. This is because the most glaring weakness of this build is our absolute lack of elemental resistances. Thanks to the massive total armor value provided by the gear set, combined with the extra 50% maximum life granted by the helmet, physical damage really isn't much of a threat. And even though I completely forgot to get chaos resistance earlier, that huge 50% life buffer actually provides a pretty solid safety net against chaos damage as well. The only real danger left is elemental damage. Normally, having your elemental resistances capped at 75% gives you 4 times the effective hit pool. Since we don't have that, we need to leverage an absurd amount of armor to compensate. Getting this specific mod is way more crucial than settling for minor flat life or generic defense rolls. At this point, we could actually slot runes into every piece of gear, but since I completely ran out of my budget, I just skipped it altogether. Otherwise, adding a 15% of damage applies to elemental rune to the shield, and socketing matching elemental runes on the gloves, helmet, and boots would be a massive boost to our overall defenses. As for DPS, if you are worried about lacking damage, you can always consider swapping the gloves out for Dreadfist. However, I suspect damage won't be an issue at all. My real concern is that because I didn't cherry pick these items, my overall life pool is probably on the low side, meaning there is a real risk of dying randomly. Because of that, I intentionally didn't prioritize scaling damage here.
Oh, it's
We are nearing the end of our shopping spree. Next up, it's time to just grab a random tier 15 map and dive right in. And of course, the unexpected happened exactly as expected. I load into the map and boom, instant death. I was just sitting there staring at my screen, totally dumbfounded. How on earth am I this squishy? I didn't even see what hit me. I just got deleted instantly. Completely caught me off guard. I started racking my brain trying to figure out what went wrong, until I finally noticed, wait, why isn't my life globe full? Then I'm there, looking like an idiot clicking on the health well over and over, only to realize that I actually had Vaal Pact allocated. The reason I didn't unspec this passive node was because I used to have a unique jewel socketed right there. Now that I took the jewel out, the node reverted back to its base Vaal Pact effect. Alright, no big deal. Let's just refund that passive point and try this all over again. Take 2. Now it's time for the actual mapping phase. Honestly, right as I opened the map, I wasn't entirely sure if this setup could pull it off. But after taking a quick glance at my character stats, I figured we should be good to go. Besides, based on my understanding of this build, a lot of those multi-divine upgrades out there are just diminishing returns. They don't actually provide a massive boost to your raw damage or survivability. The true core items that enable this whole mechanic are actually incredibly cheap. So, without further ado, let's jump in and check out the clear speed. Now we are almost done with the map. I was just looking at my defenses, and these monsters literally can't even scratch me. If I want to walk on fire, I just stroll right through. The defense is absolutely top tier, and the damage is insane. Let's go melt this boss. And then, right on cue, my hubris caught up to me. Yep, dead again. Got absolutely clapped by the boss. But to be fair, this definitely isn't a gear issue. It is purely a skill issue on my end. I completely forgot that he was in the middle of casting a skill right before he got stunned, and I just totally failed to dodge it. Whatever, there is always room for a second attempt. Take 2. So there you have it, guys. The 30 Exalt budget challenge is an absolute success. Well, if you don't count my personal skill issues earlier. As you can see, this 9 unique thorn setup is incredibly tanky, hits like a truck, and literally costs next to nothing to get going. If you enjoyed watching me confidently walk into my own death for science, please smash that like button. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.